Wow, I can't believe we've made it to the first end of the year with Chow Entertainment, living your best life. Oh my gosh, I want to thank the executive producer, Lisa Pacheco Chow. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. There are several people in the production I need to give my gratitude. Joseph Boyd comes to us all the way from Florida. There's Marielle McKinley, who was a great influence on this show. I also want to thank Faye Pacheco, Shula Cabrera, and so many other people who made this show possible. Now, when we go back and we think about this year, I remember it was just a year ago. In January, my first show was with a lady by the name of Toni Munoz Kaufman. Toni Munoz Kaufman is a lady who's a producer, a director, puts all sorts of shows together. And she was on my show telling me when she worked for President Bush. She used to say, I'd go in his office and he'd say, "What key is this? What are we gonna learn today?" She was full of laughs. You know, Toni Munoz was a great person to kick off my season because she gave me lots of feedback and advice on the type of cameras I was using, the lighting I was using, makeup, and all sorts of things. You never know the people you meet where it's going to take you. Our next show was a pop and drop. I had done some volunteer work in the community, and I had the opportunity to go out and give food and clothing and toys to people in the community. It was wonderful having the opportunity to be with them. We talk about people from entertainment. There are so many different entertainers I have. I want to take my hats off and give a moment of solitude to a man whose name is Tommy Bull. I got the opportunity to interview Tommy Bull, who's the person from Miami Vice. During the time since this show was made, Tommy has passed on to other lives, but through him, I met his great friend, Dave Garber. Dave Garber is a stuntman excelente. And he and I had connected with a person whose name is Garson Silvers. Garson Silvers is working on a story that's taking place in India. And when I talked to Tommy Bull, we talked about making this trip to Egypt a possibility that he could go and launch a movie that's going out there. It'll be coming out soon. But also when we look at the field of Hollywood, there was all sorts of young kids that I got and I brought on this platform. There was a person whose name was Tyler Gordon. Tyler Gordon was the one who painted the picture of Kamala Harris. He was also the front of Time Magazine and Grace the World. He has been painting since he was about 5 years old, and his name is like #1 on top of the world. He also has a friend whose name is AJ Stunts, and AJ Stunts was a part of a book I wrote. It's called A Message for Tomorrow's Leader. It recently came out in an audio book, and it has people from 12 to 88. And in that book, there were such people as Jackie Goldberg, who's the Pink Lady, as well as 12-year-old AJ Stunts. In that, I want to personally thank a person by the name of Cynthia Stott, who's been really a mentor of mine, as well as a person by the name of Michelle Pentacolas, who's also a coach in helping people figure out their life. In addition to that, I want to give gratitude to a person whose name is Lori Davis, was on this platform. She's an educator, been an educator for many, many years, deals a lot with the Indian Society, and Chris Salem, who also has been supportive, been on my show, been in the book, as well as people such as a young lady whose name is Adartha. Adartha is a 12-year-old sensation. I met at the Dignity Sports Fair, and this lady sings, she dances, she's got her own books out, and we've worked a lot in different shows that we worked together, from kids' fashion shows and things as well as that. In addition to that, I'd like to thank Vlad Genshu. Vlad Genshu is a client I had. He is a personal injury attorney. In addition to that, we've had such people as Blythe Smith, and he participated in one of the many events we've done with Chow Entertainment. A big one that we did recently was the event of the Hollywood Spectacular. At this Hollywood Spectacular, I was able to introduce my friends, which is the friend Max Luna. Max Luna has wonderful, tasty pizza that was just absolutely loved by everybody there. It was such a big hit. There was also an artist who's by the name of Mike Cardona. Mike was an artist who paints pictures on shirts, and he's also recently been known to be working with Baskin-Robbins, painting the shirts on those. It was also my distinct honor to have a client I worked with who's with Dignity Hospital. Dignity Hospital has 6 hospitals throughout Los Angeles, a behavioral center in Van Nuys. They have a place in Bellflower. There's a place in Orange County and 6 different hospitals. They're really a hospital that cares a lot about their people. I remember when I was doing an event and I was going out to the San Bernardino airport with the launch of that San Bernardino airport with the TV station. I was able to stay with them, and I recently learned there was a tragedy that went ahead and happened. But what's great about that company is they all pull together. They recently did a GoFundMe campaign with their staff so they could go ahead and help that person out. In addition to Dignity Hospital, I had a friend of mine from Toastmasters. Her name was Caitlin Chu. Caitlin Chu was a real estate and mortgage person, and she brought herself out to this event and really enjoyed what it was the event was all about. There was also a senior center from the area of Hollywood who came out and was at this event. There was another person whose name is Catherine Aaron. Catherine Aaron is a person who paints people's portraits. She is a highly talented artist who puts her heart and soul in putting these pictures and these paintings together. In addition to the event that we had for the Hollywood Spectacular, we have some upcoming events that we're going to be working with the Church of Scientology. It is going to be on March 4th. It's going to be an event with the Olympia Arts, and I'm really excited about having the opportunity to work there. We're going to see some of the similar players that we had last time. There's a young lady who's going to be at this event who has a line of clothing. So I'm really super excited to see her at this event, as well as the return of the Pizza Luna. We're going to have a friend of Laura DeFusco, a member of the Behavioral Center I work a lot with in the Van Nuys area. She's always introducing me to different people who are happening there. We're going to have Continuity Care. A nursing practice is going to be at that event, as well as Noreen Rentz. Noreen Rentz works with a company called Shackley, and they're going to be supporting us at this event on January 14th. That is at the West Covina Sports Arena from 11 to 6 p.m. So it's truly been a wonderful year. I had the opportunity to interview a person by the name of Shadow Stevens. Shadow Stevens has one of his own radio shows that he's on. I've also worked to have such celebrities as Carmelita Pittman has graced my stage a number of times. She works with the Rose Breast Cancer Society. I've also had the opportunity to have Olympia Gelini there, and working with his Arts of the World. I also had the opportunity to help out our community, which is near and dear to my heart, with Mr. Mike Grisham. He's with the Mission Love. And I really love the story that he'd gone ahead and shared with me, who as a youngster, he had a mother who worked for $10 an hour, and he never had enough to eat. And so he took it upon himself to go out and feed people. And he said recently at an interview down on a giveaway of food for Thanksgiving that he mentioned he never in his life imagined he'd be out feeding over thousands and thousands of people. That we recently did an event in West Covina, the Filipino Bistro, that we had a wonderful event with the press club that supports us in a lot of events. And what's really wonderful about working with this Filipino community is they're truly a people of heart and compassion that help you in so many ways. Chow Entertainment is a station that brings cultures and diversity together. And so it's really been extraordinary to take the trips and travels I've done all around the world on my trips to Hawaii, sharing the sights and scenes of what there is to see in Hawaii, of an organization that goes ahead and helps track students' lives. The trip I took to Egypt, and when I was in Egypt, I was able to interview a person by the name of Yasser Akarama. Yasser works in getting venom that comes from snakes, and with that venom from snakes, they're able to help people with lupus and many other cancers. And when I interviewed him on my platform, it was amazing to hear that when I asked him if there was one thing he wanted to share, he said he wanted to bring peace throughout the world, something that's near and dear to my heart. And when I asked him how he became a diplomat, he shared there was a student of his in his classroom that said that he was having some strife in his home and his family and wanted to know the ways that they could do to make it better. And it was simply kindness. And it was with that advice he was able to become a diplomat. And through my TV station, I've also talked about my travels to Ireland. This summer I had a trip to go back to Ireland with a group I traveled with called Up With People. We landed that was in Ennis, and when I was in Dublin, I had the opportunity to go ahead and visit two places, the Botanical Gardens and the Phoenix. Last but not least, one big, huge thank you to my business partner, Anna Marie Buenacore, who comes to us all the way from Northern California. She's the one who helps write the press releases. She goes ahead and puts out the newsletter each week and works with the team here at Chow Entertainment. The business wouldn't be where it is without her. Anna Marie, thank you so much for everything you've done to make this show a success. It's been a wonderful time being here on Chow Entertainment that brings people together from different cultures and different backgrounds. And what I really love is our interest in bringing together different cultures, whether it be the Egyptian culture that I went to, or whether it was the Greek culture that I had the opportunity to go ahead and share, or the Cambodian event that I recently went to. What Chow Entertainment is really all about is bringing people from different backgrounds and cultures together. So as we wrap up here today, I want to go ahead and say, I wish you a happy and a healthy year. We're number 14 here in Los Angeles. We're also on KGNG in Las Vegas. And who knows where we'll be next year at this time. Thank you so very much, and gratitude beyond words. Hi, this is Rosalind Kahn with Aaron Schwartzbart. We are here. We met at the John Lee event, and it was such an impelling story. I decided to have him tell it again. Tell us.
I came out of the womb hardwired to drive like a homicidal maniac. From as far back as I can remember, I turned into a Ted Bundy or a Charles Manson whenever I got a steering wheel in my hands. My daily commute on Canoga Avenue as a gainfully employed tax-paying rocket scientist was 90 miles an hour and 35 mile an hour rush hour traffic, weaving in and out of 35 mile an hour innocent bystanders at 90 miles an hour, 5 days a week, every morning, every night. I should have been dead or in prison 100 times over behind that stuff. And then about the age of 30, about 30 years ago, I just turned 60, I got born again very, very unexpectedly. An overnight light switch change from dark to light, virtually overnight. And almost immediately I started using my pathological tendencies with the steering wheel for good instead of evil. I operate an anti-street racing campaign in cooperation with the LAPD and the courts and LA City Council and Hollywood and the news media, trying to get the message out there to these kids that there is a place and a time for speed, and that is not in the streets of Los Angeles. That is at the racetrack with us motorsports professionals.
Now, dude, did I remember that you're a professional sports driver somewhere?
I'm a 5-time champion. Yes, I'm a professional race car driver.
How long have you been doing that?
Well, the first 10 years was the illegal stuff. I've been racing legally for 30 years.
Wow, and a 5-time champion.
Yes, ma'am.
I bet your parents must have been proud of you.
They were, yes.
Now, but you do some work with some kids, and
Yes.
tell us what you do with the kids.
Yeah, so they come to us from the courts, they come to us from the LAUSD, especially IEP kids that don't quite fit the traditional learning model. They come to us from their parents, from various places. They come to us forcibly in handcuffs from the courts. They come to us voluntarily because they've always wanted to race. We get a broad spectrum, and we teach them after school auto shop. We teach them how to drive. We take them and let them race in the karts against police officers, off-duty police officers at NB2. We take them to the track under court order on community service, where we humiliate them at 150 to 200 miles an hour. They swagger in. Everybody thinks they know how to drive for the first 5 minutes, and within 5 minutes of being the slow guy or girl that's in everybody's way, they're very humbled by that. Consequently, street racing loses a lot of its luster for them.
Now, there must be in all your years' experience one story that really changed your life. Do you remember that story?
Yeah. Angel Rodriguez was a major milestone for us. He's a poster child, literally and figuratively. He was twice arrested for street racing, and on his second arrest, Sergeant Jesse Garcia the very tough guy, leader of the Central Traffic Division, LAPD Central Traffic Division Street Racing Task Force, Sergeant Garcia, sat there with Angel and his mom and called me up, an informal phone call from a very tough guy with a very big heart, saying, look, can you do something with this kid? He's got to be able to find a better way than getting arrested twice for street racing. And we took Angel in. We took him to the track. He wasn't even arraigned yet. I went to his arraignment. We took him to the track before he was even arraigned. He saw a real racetrack for the first time in his life. And literally, this sounds exaggerated, but there's no exaggeration here. He was done with street racing from the first time he saw the track. He came to the track with us. He drove. He followed our instruction carefully and diligently. And in his 20-year-old Lexus, he was beating up on brand new Dodge Hellcats and Porsches and such at the track legally and safely, much more safely than street racing, because he took to the track like a fish to water. He was literally done with street racing. And interestingly, he's the one, because I went to his arraignment to help him out, he's the one that got Motor Gospel Ministries formally inserted into the court system on their list of charities that are approved for community service. All that happened because of Angel.
Wow, that is amazing. What is this ministry that he got inducted? Can you tell us a few minutes about that?
Oh, Motor Gospel Ministries. Motor Gospel Ministries has two primary types of activities. Flagrantly Christian church ministry. I'm a Jew by blood, although I'm a born-again Christian by faith. So we have flagrantly Christian church activities like Saturday morning Sabbath service, Christian Sabbath service, Friday night evangelism, Bible distribution, all that normal churchy stuff. But we also have what I like to call kindness just for kindness sake, non-religious benevolence in the community. I'm convicted that God that's shown in the Bible shows compassion to people with no strings attached, just out of compassion with no other motive. And when we're doing kindness just for kindness sake, there's no religious message, there's no prayer, there's no nothing. And that's not around anything like the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. It's straight out of the Tanakh and the New Testament, just to show compassion to people with no strings attached. And in that column of activities, it's non-religious benevolence. A big part of that is our anti-street racing campaign, where we're working to save lives just for the sake of saving lives.
That's beautiful. Now, how can people follow you?
There are several ways. Motorgospel.org, just like it sounds, motorgospel.org is my website, although the website is more of a placeholder than anything. It's much more static than my Facebook page. Find me on Facebook, Aaron Schwartzbart, SCHWARTZBART. Find me on Facebook, Motor Gospel Youth Center, Motor Gospel Ministries on Facebook. Call me or text me at 818-620-7132. Email me at motorgospel@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you.
Thank you.
Again, welcome to the Oakland Aviation Museum. This is a special museum for aircraft, historic GA, general aviation, and World War II airplanes here at the Oakland Airport. As you can see, it's now open 7 days a week for the summer. And I wanted to show you around. This is an indoor and outdoor museum. This is the outdoor area. Over there we have a flying boat. There's not too many of those left. Here you can see the Douglas KA-3B Sky Warrior. Really cool. Lots of red and blue. You can read up on it. Start or had their first flight in this plane. Now we use more Cessnas. Come over here. And this is just a great place to come and visit, to bring your family. As you can see, the ground is like a little runway. Got the Kitty Hawk corporate. And of course, that's the Wright Brothers. That's the Wright Brothers. And this is the gift shop where you can get all of your favorite aviation goods. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon.
المصرية بقول وحشتوني 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 وحشتوا عيوني. على مر السنين وقفنا قدامكم وقدمنا لكم مواهب ونجوم عربية تميزوا بالغربة وخاصة بمدينة لوس أنجلوس. سمعنا سوا أجمل المعزوفات والألحان ورجعنا للزمن الجميل. ياه دي حاجة يعني بقاله زمان ينفع كده، بس أنا حاسة إنه في شيء ناقص بالبروجرام، مش كده يا مايسترو عادل؟ هو سامي رياض فين؟ فين سامي؟ سامي وين؟ معنا وين سامي؟ سامي رياض؟
جاي لك حاضر يا جماعه.
فينك يا سامي؟
ابتدوا من خير.
عندنا تقديم حفلة ليالي زمان أكاديمي. هو ينفع نبتدي البرنامج من غيرك؟
ممكن. عندنا very good talent, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing tonight? Uh-oh. Sleeping?
لا أكيد لا.
One more time. How are we doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Let me hear you.
نحن كتير محمسين لحتى نقدم لكم البرنامج يلي كلياتكم ناطرينه. خلونا أول شيء نرحب بالمايسترو عادل اسكندر. خلونا نرحب بالفرقة الموسيقية. خلونا كلياتنا نبتدي البرنامج بأول غنية، بأول معزوفة، وهي خطوة حبيبي.
Nurse Access Staffing is seeking experienced RN and LVNs. For more information, call us at 818-697-4484 or check us out on our website, nurseaccessstaffing.com.